Which way, Western man? Decorum, manliness, a firm handshake, or Tim Walz and Kamala Harris? Just take a look at this. I'm not gonna talk long. It's gonna be a short video. Um, I just want you to compare the two entrances of RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., when he was just introduced by Donald Trump in Arizona after he backed out of his run for president to put his support behind Donald Trump. Big moment, by the way. We'll talk more about that later. And compare that to Tim Walz entering the stage. I forget where, Michigan, maybe Minnesota, maybe I'm not sure, when he was announced as the vice presidential candidate with Kamala Harris. I'm going to start with JFK, or I'm sorry, RFK Jr. And this isn't special. Just kind of watch how he walks on stage. All right. So Trump is bringing him in.
He's highly respected. He is a great person. I've known him for so long, for the past 16 months. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
This isn't even the best angle of it, but just watch as RFK comes on the stage, waves once, waves twice, gently. He unbuttoned his coat, shakes Trump's hand like a gentleman, firmly, say a few words, backs up, waves again. Okay, yeah, pretty normal. Fireworks going on in the background. And then stand straight, shoulders wide. Okay, now just keep that in mind for a second. Just keep that in mind, okay? Couple waves, shoulders spread apart at the end, handshake, firm handshake. All right, now here is vice presidential candidate Tim Walz.
Well, I was born in a small town and I live in a small town. Governor Tim Walz.
Okay, I mean, someone probably said, "Hey, bro, just give it your whole energy, give it your all, wave and point." And I know, okay, I know this guy has a couple of kids. He's got a wife, so I got to be careful what I say. So it's not necessarily about actually who he is. That's not actually the point. It's not about who RFK Jr. is. Maybe he's a terrible guy. Maybe Tim Walz is great, even though no, he's not, because his politics are deplorable. He loves abortion. He loves teaching LGBTQRS stuff to children in high school. So he's not a good person. He's not. But let's take that out of it. Let's just take what they do, the performance. Okay. Let's just take the actual physical thing we just watched just now. It matters. It matters. Everyone who goes in for a job, that when you walk into the door, you make eye contact, you shake the hand of the person interviewing you. We all know how important that is, especially for men. Women more so, perhaps, when you're being interviewed by a woman, especially. That's probably the hardest thing, to be honest, for a woman to be interviewed by a woman. Anyway, different topic. But you need that physical confidence, right? You need that. You walk into a room and you got this bearing. You got this confidence. You're. Let's take women out of it right now. You're a man, right? You're confident. I've got this. I want this job. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's sweeping up cobwebs or dumping the trash. You walk into a job interview with your head held high and your shoulders spread as wide as they'll go. Now, you can also be a little nervous in an interview. That's fine. I think that's actually, I've heard people say it's actually kind of good. You don't want to be too confident because then you look like a psychopath. So a little nervousness is fine. But that first eye contact, that first handshake, that that standing straight and tall. Now, when you, I just, I'm sorry, but this Tim Walz walking in, it just looks like Richard Simmons. I saw someone compare it to Richard Simmons. Anyone who knows him, he's a famous what is he? Exercise guru who was flamboyant. Let's just say that. And he had this, this crazy, like, hand gestures and waving and ooh. And just imagine, I'm not the manliest of men. I'm not saying I am. Of course not. I know I've got friends who are way more tough and manly and strong than I am. But just imagine if I came onto a podcast and I'm Kevin Davis. What would you think? What would you? What's your immediate reaction? It's weird. It's weird. And it's just so ironic that they keep calling the Republicans weird. And I think it's not the main thing. The main thing is the actual politics, the actual, what is their actual platform? What are their actual policies? That's what matters. And I get that. But we also want people, in leadership positions that we respect. I don't like RFK's policies, a lot of them. As we talked about the other day with my dad, we don't like most of them. Some of them are really good, maybe 20%. But at least he's a man. I mean, come on. What are we doing? Now, people would say, "Oh, you should be toxic masculinity and we need more women." No, we don't. I know I'm in the minority when I say that I think that women should not be in positions of power, but that's not like people act like when I say that it's like, "Oh, you hate women." No, this is a really modern mindset that women should be in places of power in society. They shouldn't. Sorry. And I'm not saying they're not even good at it. Some of them are better than men. Some men are terrible at it. It's not about, who's better or more qualified or smarter. Man, I know so many women who are smarter than me or smarter than Trump or whatever. That's not the point. There's a system in society that it should work a certain way. Now, there have been great Catholic queens in the past. That's not the norm. That's the exception. And it's good. And it's good that women hold power. They should. Women have a lot more wisdom than men do in many, many ways, but they shouldn't be the ones running for office. And that's why, we talk about, I've even kind of said, Tulsi Gabbard is another good example, that I say, oh, yeah, I actually like her sometimes. Yeah, but, I don't know if she has kids actually, but I mean, the people who have kids, they're running for politics, women especially, and they have children, young children. How does that work? How does that work? That's not healthy. That's not what women should be doing. Men need to pick it up, do their jobs, and be like RFK. Walk out there with your shoulders broad, shake a hand firmly, and stand there like a man. No more of this Tim Waltz. Oh, yeah. Oh, makes me ill. Makes me ill. Seriously, it's like, ugh. And I know the Democrat Party is supposedly eating it up, but it's like, ugh, there wasn't actually a CNN report. I should have gotten this pulled up. I think Dana Bash, who was like, "Well, the Democratic Party is putting out men who are not full of testosterone." You can look this up. That is pretty much what she said. Just Google CNN testosterone. They'd probably get it. And yep, first time CNN has told the truth in years. That's true. The Democratic Party is not putting out men with testosterone. Tim Walz is not full of testosterone, and that's bad. Men should have testosterone. Now, again, I don't think men should be Andrew Tate, who is a freaking punk who thinks that that pornography and ripping off your shirt is cool and that's manly. No, not at all. So don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. That's not the answer, not even remotely. But having a straight back, having a firm handshake, looking someone straight in the eye, not acting weird. And this is actually kind of off note. And this is something that I've really learned for myself. Back in the day, for years, I would do, let's say, fantasy football bets or whatever, some sort of, bets. It's like, okay, if I lose this card game, I will paint my toenails. I really regret that kind of stuff. Really. Even though it's just a stupid bet, even though it's just, everyone knows it's just joking. No, it's not good. If you really think about it, it's like we really need to consider this. Okay, King St. Louis, would he have done that? St. Joseph, would he do that? Let's say someone who's not even let's say no saint, no great person. Let's say Francisco Franco. Let's say who are other manly men? I don't know. RFK Jr. Again, I don't agree with him on everything. I wouldn't vote for him as president, but just he just has a bearing. It's like, okay, at least it's a grown up. It's a man on that stage. And you have Kamala Harris, who's a habitual liar, and she got to where she is through very dirty means. No one even denies that. And her VP is this soy boy. Blah. No, thank you. Men of the world, buy a suit coat. I know. Okay, at least I have a collar this time. I know my clothing lately has not been great. I am hypocritical. Though my white shirt the other day, I have to say, did have a Catholic Family Podcast logo that you just couldn't see. That was the point of the t-shirt. Anyway, I do need to work on it too. Maybe I should do every single show in a suit coat. It's a valid point. We need to be manlier. We need to sit up straighter. We need to shake hands firmer. Walk on the stage and don't act like a teenage girl. It matters. It matters now. It will matter forever. The world needs men. The world needs testosterone funneled in the appropriate, moral, virtuous way. What does everyone think? Do you think Saint Joseph? You think he had testosterone? You betcha. And he funneled that into virtue. He funneled that into strength and peace and quiet. Testosterone doesn't mean this, again, I always use Andrew Tate, but he's a great example. You see a lot of people on the right always, preaching up Andrew Tate. Dudes are ugh, gross. He's the exact opposite of what we want. He's not virtuous. Gross. That's not what we want. We want St. Joseph's. Humble workers there for their family to do everything they possibly can for the support of their family. St. Joseph for the support of the Son of God. Yeah, I think he had a little testosterone. And you know what he did with it again? He used it for protection. He turned that into virtue. St. Louis, King St. Louis. Go read up on him. Wow. That's what we have to be. Saint Ferdinand. I think isn't that the king of Spain? I think it's Saint I always forget his name. I think I think it's Saint Ferdinand. Someone correct me. Sorry. Awesome. Amazing king and saint of Spain during the crusades against the Muslims in Spain. Be manly. Be manly. Use that testosterone. Have testosterone. Work out. Eat well. Be men, but funnel that energy that we have, that God naturally gave us. Funnel it into hard work. Funnel it into virtue. Funnel it into leading our world where it needs to go. I'm Kevin Davis. Please support us on Patreon. Um, we're trying to create daily content, weekly content, all sorts of content, and we need your help. €2 a month, $2 a month is definitely enough. Please support us again.